Hey guys, Kaiti Vibes here. Welcome back to my channel. And if by any chance you see me constantly looking in this direction, because usually that's where my camera is and usually that's where I need to look, but instead it's now over here and it's something I'm adjusting to and not adjusting well. Anyways, this is probably going to go onto my secondary channel, which I hope to open today. So, well, if you saw the title and description, then you probably know this about Bam Margera. And I think we all know who, well, ex-Jackass star Bam Margera is. And if not, you've either been living under a rock or you're probably 60 years old. Also, this is Oliver. Hi! So, Bam Margera. If you, for some reason, can't remember, he's the guy right there in the middle. In this picture, he is standing next to his co-stars, Steve-O, and, oh my god, I spaced his name. Oh shit. I literally spaced his name. I'm not even gonna lie, I literally looked that up. It's Johnny Knoxville. I'm an idiot. I knew when I opened the picture who that was, but then for some reason as I held it up, like my mind went blank, like absolutely 100% blank. There was absolutely nothing in there as to what his name could possibly be. You know that little SpongeBob clip? It was like that. You know, this one. That's what I thought of. Now that we've got a SpongeBob reference in there. Anyway, so unfortunately what's going on with Bam Margera is far from a good thing. Most people who know anything about these actors knows that Steve-O and Bam Margera both struggled for many years with very serious addiction problems. Steve-O thankfully has been sober for quite some time. He says that he's enjoying his sobriety and he's enjoying his new life. He does a lot to help animals, which I absolutely adore. He even rescued a dog, I believe in Cancun or Mexico, somewhere in that relative area, if I can remember correctly. The dog was his life, or is his life. So he's really been doing really well, which is incredible because Steve-O was so close to death. He did pretty much any drug that he could get his hands on. Whereas, for example, I myself am an addict. I am not in active addiction, meaning I'm not currently using my drug of choice. But for me, I never had a problem with any other drug. It was always just the opiates. You could easily give me Coke, I'd do a single line and it could be offered to me, you know, an hour later and I'd be like, oh no, I'm good, thank you though. And not think about it again for several months until it was brought around me again. And there were times where it was brought around me and I just said I didn't want it because I simply just didn't want it. It's the same with alcohol or weed or really anything else. The only thing I ever had a problem with was opiates. Steve-O was not that kind of addict. He was the kind of addict that would, again, take anything he could get his hands on. If it was offered to him, he was taking it. What is it? I don't know. Who cares? It's going down the hatch kind of thing. So it's incredible a man like that with all that money and that fame and the resources and ability to get these drugs was able to get sober. And I completely applaud him. I am so very proud of him, whether I know him or not. I know what a struggle it is to get and to stay sober. So especially when you have the ability to get drugs so easily and you have that money at your, you know, beck and call, like you could so easily get the money you need. You have the money you need, you know, that's not an issue. It's hard to be sober sometimes. So I really do applaud him for all of that. Bam Margera did get sober. He actually did go to a recovery program. He completed it and he was doing well for a little bit. Unfortunately, though, it is being reported that he is allegedly doing meth with his girlfriend, who has an 8-year-old daughter. This is not Bam's daughter. His ex-wife is not in the picture anymore. She has removed herself from Bam's life due to the addiction problems. But he's now with this new girl who, again, has an 8-year-old daughter. And unfortunately, the daughter plays a bit of a role in the news that I'm reporting. So all of this information is coming from Bam's brother, and he said that there was an altercation. Bam threw some punches. He said they were some sucker punches. He was able to block some of them, but there was one that landed to his ear. He said that his ear was ringing hours later, so it was a pretty good punch. The police reported that the victim in the incident had very minor injuries. So police had been called to the home, and when they were arriving, Bam took off into the woods that surrounds his home, and they were not able to locate him. So it is alleged that Bam, his girlfriend, and the girlfriend's 8-year-old daughter are now on the run. And it's fueled by meth, you know, and that's just absolutely crazy. Meth is one hell of a drug. I am So fortunate, meth was never something I enjoyed. It was never something I did or wanted to do or anything. It's just, I say this all the time. You look at a heroin addict of 10 years and let's say they get sober for 1 year. You'll have no idea they were ever addicted to heroin for 10 straight years. They could literally be shooting up for 10 straight years and you would have no idea after a year of recovery. You look at a meth user who only used for 5 years and has been clean for 5 years, and you can still tell that they have been addicted to meth. It destroys you. It destroys you emotionally, mentally, and physically as well. And yes, of course, heroin and other opiates do that as well, and so do pretty much any drug that you are addicted to. Alcohol even can cause some very serious mental, emotional, and physical issues. But I've never seen anything like meth. My friends that were opiate addicts and then started using meth as well, you just saw such a dramatic decrease in everything about them. And it was just insane to me. Like, what it does to people is just absolutely crazy. And I think that's part of the reason I never really truly understood why people enjoyed it so much. You know, I looked at all these people using around me, I was like, oh my God. And yeah, of course I did that with opiates. I looked at these people like, wow, look at everything you're losing. Look at everything you're doing. Like, what's wrong with you? And unfortunately, I was still addicted to it. So I can understand how people get addicted. Even if they look at what meth does and are like, whoa, hell no, I'm never going to touch that stuff. Unfortunately, they touch it and they end up becoming addicted. I get it. I understand how it happens. And I'm so thankful I'm not one of those people who had to deal with that. Bam Margera, unfortunately, is allegedly on it and having some serious issues with it. According to Bam's brother, he has been receiving threats from Bam as well as the parents. They have all been threatened to be killed by Bam. And allegedly, he has also been hearing things and seeing things. His brother reported that Bam was yelling at a person that wasn't even there. And it was just really scary. And he said that Bam is the sweetest person he knows when he's not using. But when he's using, he's a completely other person. And he doesn't know what to expect or if Bam can be trusted. It's just crazy. And to think that this 8-year-old girl is stuck in a car with these two people, probably strung out on meth. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just saying that if they are meth addicts, it wouldn't be a surprise if they are currently still using meth. Knowing they're on the run, meaning they're constantly looking over their shoulders. One of the symptoms of using meth, especially prolonged use of meth, is serious paranoia. Again, Bam's brother reported that Bam was yelling at a person that wasn't even there. That's serious paranoia accompanied with hallucinations. So if he was going through that before, what's happening now when he's actually anxious and actually feeling anxiety and actually has these real serious pressures laying on him? You know, the cops are looking for him. And unfortunately now, he's most likely not just looking at the assault charges. If his brother is even going to charge him with assault, he's now looking at child endangerment. This has gotten so serious and so much more severe than it was when he and his brother got into a fight. And I want to show you something that Bam's brother wrote, which I agree with 100%. So I don't know if you can see these. These are tweets by his brother. So I'm going to read them. This is by Jess Margera, and that is his handle on Twitter as well. I mean, I can talk to my light bulbs. My car can back out of the garage and pick me up at my front door. Police should be able to track a phone, right? Apparently I'm the asshole. So basically just saying how he knows or he believes that Bam's girlfriend has her cell phone, so why aren't the police trying harder by locating her cell phone and finding them that way? He's responding to somebody here saying, I appreciate it, man. I'm trying to stay positive. Bam really is the sweetest guy when he isn't messed up, but since his meth habit, he's unrecognizable, and I really don't know what he's capable of. Seeing him screaming at a person that wasn't there, hallucinating, it's really scary and heartbreaking. And then he also said, his girlfriend has her phone, which talks about what he mentioned earlier. I'm obviously very worried about Bam, but I'm extremely worried about that there is an 8-year-old child with them. I can't even imagine the environment in that car right now. I hope she's okay. She is the sweetest kid, and she doesn't deserve this unnecessary trauma. That is so damn true. A part of being an addict is, unfortunately, you don't look at how your addiction is affecting other people. And a lot of times when we are going through our addiction, we're really serious into it, we don't even realize that it's affecting people, or we realize it, but then we kind of spin it around on them like, why is this affecting you? It shouldn't affect you. This is my life. Let me do what I want with my life, you know? But it's like when you're able to step away from it and you're able to actually like think clearly, you realize It affects them because you might be stealing from them. It affects them because they're constantly worried they're going to get a phone call that you're dead. They might have to be helping you out. They might be having to give you a place to stay because you can't keep a roof over your head because all your money's going to drugs. They may have to worry about you robbing them, so they're constantly having to worry about locking their doors and not, allowing you to come to events and come to birthday parties, and they're having to exclude you, which is really heartbreaking and hard on them. There are so many ways that your addiction affects the people around you that love you and care about you and want the best for you. And that's definitely happening here with Bam, with his family who does care about him, and his friends too. Steve-O, like I said, they were best friends, and Steve-O got clean. He's heartbroken that Bam isn't able to get there because he knows, like any addict knows, you're not going to get sober until you're ready to get sober. You can be forced into detox, you can be forced into rehab, you can be forced to do it for 6 months, a year, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can lock someone up in prison, throw away the key, and, keep them away from the drugs in there. But when they get out, if they don't want to stay sober, they're not going to stay sober. And Steve-O acknowledges that's the case with Bam right now, and that Bam needs to want this, or it's simply just never going to happen. It's just so heartbreaking. This child has to watch as these people most likely and allegedly spiral out of control. How much has this 8-year-old child seen? How deep into this is this mother? Because Jess isn't talking about the mother, he's talking about Bam, his brother. So he doesn't bring into light anything going on with the mother, but it's not a stretch to believe that whatever Bam is doing, the girlfriend's doing as well. Apparently there was an intervention. Unfortunately, it didn't take, as in Bam was not interested in getting sober. And a lot of the people that had attended said that a part of that blame is put on the girlfriend. They feel like that girlfriend is a big reason why Bam wasn't willing and wasn't ready to get sober and do the things he needs to get sober and to stay sober. It's really hard when you love somebody and you really enjoy being around somebody. It's hard to get them out of your life. And if you want to get sober, you have to leave the person that's addicted. And that's so hard. It is such a hard thing to do. But that person's going to keep dragging you down, dragging you down, dragging you down. A part of my issue with getting sober, when I wanted to get sober and I was sick and tired and I didn't want to do it anymore, but my ex was still using. We lived together, we were together for several years. So I wasn't ready to lose him. But was I willing to lose myself to be with him? I was. I was willing to stay addicted and possibly lose absolutely everything just because I wanted to stay with the man that I thought I loved, or that I did love at the time. I did honestly, genuinely love that man at that time. And I'll always have love for this person. But together, we use drugs, and that's all there is to it. So he has to be out of my life in order for me to get my life back and to stay sober. And unfortunately, that's going to most likely be the case with Bam. If he's not ready to leave somebody who is actively using, he's not going to get sober, and he's definitely not going to stay sober. Maybe he'll go to detox, be there for 5 to 10 days. He'll get out, go back to the girl, and that's where he lives perhaps. Then, of course, he's going to start using if she's still using. So either they both need to do this together and be serious about it, which I don't recommend, but is very possible, or he needs to leave her, and that's such a shame. And what's sad is this 8-year-old girl has gotten her hopes up. There's this man in their life, and I'm sure this man's around often, and for an 8-year-old child, it really sucks to watch these other people, these men come and go. And I don't know her exact situation. I don't know if her actual birth father is in the picture, if he comes around, whatever. But if she's looking up to this guy like, hey, my mom's happy, there's this man in our lives, both of our lives, because this isn't just the mom's life, this is the 8-year-old daughter's life too. So to watch him leave is going to be hard, but it's obviously very necessary. I really hope that the mother gets help too, because again, this isn't just her life. She has an 8-year-old child, a child who's capable of seeing what's going on and is able to remember it and react to it and have feelings and thoughts and opinions about it. And that sucks. It's not a 1-year-old that's never going to remember this. She knows what's going on, or at least to an extent. She may not know they're on the run. She may not know that they're doing meth, but I have no doubt she's seeing things that she shouldn't see. She's experiencing things she shouldn't experience. And I think when the cops do find them, that can be a horribly traumatic moment for her. Because is she going to have to watch her mom taken away in handcuffs? Is she going to have to go to foster care? Does she have somebody who can take her when her mom possibly and most likely goes to jail, even if it's for a short period of time. I mean, this woman knowingly is on the run with a man and has her child with her. It's just crazy to me. And it's so sad because, like Jess said, it is just such unnecessary trauma that this little girl is going through. And I know that having kids doesn't change you from being an addict. We all wish it would. We all wish that, you know, oh, I'm pregnant, boom, done, no more drugs, never gonna touch them again, I'm gonna be a great parent. It just doesn't work like that. I wish it did. We all wish it did, I think. But it doesn't. So it is such a shame that there's an 8-year-old child caught up in all of this. And it's also a shame that somebody with so much potential, somebody that had so much going for him and who had great friends, is just throwing it all away. All the money and the fame and the respect, it's all gone for drugs. And it's so sad because, again, we all think, oh, they're a celebrity, they're rich, they have everything they could want, they could travel the world and enjoy life and do all of these things. Why are they using drugs? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter what you're able to do. There are billionaires addicted to drugs. It doesn't matter. Addiction doesn't choose people based on their social class or their financial status or anything. You can be a completely happy person who's highly intelligent and you can still become addicted to drugs. It's just crazy how addiction works. It is such a shitty thing, and I really wish it wasn't a part of being a human, but unfortunately it is. And all I can hope is that this is settled in the most calm and, I don't know, in just the calmest way possible. Again, I really hope they're not driving around or in a hotel room and the police storm in, this 8-year-old girl has to witness all this. I really hope that's not the case. The best case scenario right now is for Bam Margera to turn himself in, and then for the mother to take the daughter somewhere safe, and to also turn herself in if she's being wanted. I don't know if she is. And just deal with these legal consequences and get sober. Going to jail may be the best thing for both of them. I would rather they be able to go to detox and rehab and to do everything right, but that may not be a possibility at this point, you know? And it's such a shame that they've allowed it to spiral to this level. All I can hope is that that little girl is safe, that, you know, she is seeing as little issues and insanity as possible. I really hope they're able to hold it together, at least in front of her. And I just hope this has a safe and happy outcome, although I don't see the happy outcome being a huge possibility. But safe, yeah, props. And I hope that little girl gets help. I really hope she can, you know, they can find her a therapist somewhere, some counseling, something where she can talk through this if that's what she needs, because I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that she needs. She can really process this correctly, because at 8 years old, who knows how her mind is processing this? I highly doubt she can really truly wrap her mind around everything going on and everything she has witnessed and experienced. So I just hope she gets the help, because I'm more worried about that little girl than anything else. But I really do hope Bam Margera and his girlfriend also turn their lives around, because nobody deserves to be addicted. It's a shitty life, and that's all I got. So I will keep people updated if there's any updates in the situation. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, check out the links in the description below. I have my collection account, my collection YouTube channel, and all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, have a good one. Bye!